New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ebro in the morning. Beautiful Laura Styles, Rosenberg, in Chicago's home. No ID in the building.
Stop. Do it again. The 5-time Grammy nominated. No
That's
ID
right,
in the building.
Five. Is it 5? How many Grammys do you have?
1. And I'm going to tell you why.
Pull that mic close.
Pull the mic a little bit closer. You have 1 Grammy.
I got 1 Grammy physical. I got a lot of songs that won.
Got it.
So a lot of people,
You don't get an actual trophy if your song.
you gotta, if you're a producer or songwriter, it's only certain categories you get the trophy in. So it's tougher for the producers and songwriters. So, for the thumb action, people will be like, yo, I won this many, that, right? But nah. So the album we did got 8 nominations.
And which album was this?
This 444.
444. Yeah, I was gonna
8.
say, got
But
8,
out of
yeah.
that, I got 4 that I get a trophy for.
Got it.
He could get 8. And then I'm up for producer of the year.
Producer of the year, non-classical.
Which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're up against
Stereotypes, Calvin Harris.
Stereotypes did Bruno Mars.
Yep. Greg Kirsten and Blake Mills. Who's a cool guy. I met him recently. He came into some of the 444 sessions.
Got it. So now the Grammy that you have 1 physical for is for what?
Run This Town.
Run This Town, another Jay-Z record.
Yep.
Now, this is No ID, ladies and gentlemen. You've probably seen produced by No ID on many things in hip-hop.
Of course.
Before we get into your speculation of how many you're actually going to walk away with and why, right? I want to talk about Chicago and your beginnings, because I don't know. Rosenberg, you said you interviewed him how long ago? Was the last time you talked to?
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago already.
Yeah.
A few years passed.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys covered Chicago and
We talked about a lot.
Common,
Yeah,
Kanye West.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I want to recover that right now. I want to unpack that a little.
Okay.
Recover those stories, unpack that. You were a DJ first or a producer first?
DJ.
DJ. And what kind of music were you playing?
House music.
House music. And you still love house music.
Absolutely.
And the origins
That's the
of
only thing I really play if I DJ.
right. Yeah, you told me that. You was
Yeah,
like, if
yeah,
I
yeah.
play, I'm not playing none of my records. I won't play house records.
No,
Have you produced house records before?
Yeah, before I did hip-hop records. That's what I did. That was my first introduction to music business. And it went so bad, I was like, I'm cool on it.
What was your DJ name at the time?
Dion.
Okay.
DJ Dion?
And how
No, we didn't.
Just
do
Dion.
Just Dion. And how did you get your name? No ID.
Wow, Dion Wilson.
So early on, one of my friends, Twilight Tone, who was also with us from early on, another producer, we became a little crew and started producing Common.
And wait, Twilight Tone, didn't he just work with the Gorillas?
Absolutely.
He was just up here with the
Yep, he
Gorillas.
was just here.
Absolutely.
And he's Chicago too, and original
Absolutely.
house music also.
Absolutely.
Got it.
So it was me, him, and Common. That was the core of that first album, the Can I Borrow a Dollar? No, that was it.
Yeah.
It was just us. So one day, matter of fact, we were out here working on Resurrection, and he goes, yo, man, you should be your name backwards. It's No ID. And I was like, yeah, you should be. Why not? Because his name is Tony. And literally, we both was like, oh, that's it.
And that's just how it
That's
happened.
it. There's nothing else. Nothing else to that story.
What's the relationship for people? Because we've had these conversations. They actually make fun of me a lot because I'll talk about Mantronics and I'll talk about Soul Sonic Force and I'll talk about the connection of hip hop and electronic music and house music. You as somebody who came up in house music in Chicago, which I don't even think young black kids know that house music is original, like black music, like that's black music. Like there's no other way around it.
Absolutely.
But I don't think, like now you say house music and
Yeah, that's something
black
else.
audience is like, nah, I don't mess with dance and I don't mess with this and I don't mess with that.
Yeah, that's like saying, what's hip hop? What's what? It just changes once it gets out of the small originators' hands.
They
gonna
give
be
it
a lot
different
of
names.
things. It's gonna be all kind of sub genres, different expressions. Others bigger than the others, but that was I didn't have a choice. That was the music in the city. Period. And it really was. Fun fact is, it was a DJ out here named Chili Q that started doing a radio show out there that gave our other friend Derek, who was Common's manager.
Derek Dudley.
We just talked about this a week ago. The first SB 1200, and he brought it over, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not house, but let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what this does.
And so, what's the relationship between house and hip hop? Like, is it just club music? Is that the straight relation?
I can say what it is for me. It's the fact that we used to make these edits of the song to make the parts we like extended.
The loop.
But yeah. So that's kind of where I got my style from, because I used to edit these records up and find these good parts. I didn't care whether it was voices in or whatever. It just, this part feel good. I'm gonna extend this part out and play it, and then that's my edit. And then you go play it, and then people start wanting to come hear you because you got good edits or good taste. So that's really what my sampling style really is. It's really that. And then once I came out to New York, and then I met the Beat Nuts and Vic, then I start, okay, jazz music or this or that, and then I just took it and
start chopping other things up.
Yeah.
How did you and Kanye, how did the Kanye West relationship happen?
That was my mom and his mom.
Really?
They knew each other. Yeah, my mom's a teacher. His mom was a teacher. So, she comes home like, yo, hey, can you help? I got a friend. Can you help her son? I'm like,
so crazy.
Annoying, right? You're like, ugh.
How much older are you? You're older than Kanye? Or
Yeah. So he's like 14 when that happened.
Yeah.
And it's just all over the place.
He's an annoying 14-year-old kid.
Absolutely.
He was rapping at the time, or he wanted to produce at that time?
He was rapping.
Okay.
He just wanted to make it in music. So he had his demos, he's playing them. But he's making like beats on his little computer. He don't really know what the sampling is about or whatever. So I just would send him on missions like, look, man, this how you sample. Go do that and come back. And he just kept coming back, and I just started running out of missions to send him on. Really, that's the truth. I wasn't thinking like, this is about to be Kanye West, and I'm gonna mentor him and make it.
It's a kid. It's a kid.
Yeah,
it's a favor for your mom.
Like, nah, he's back again. He actually did the job. Let's see what happens.
Was he very confident even at that age?
100%.
He knew he'd make it.
100%. There was no other version of the story. I mean, I remember one time we brought him out to meet with Columbia, and they wanted to sign him. This is a little later in the equation, and me and a guy, Peter Kang was an A&R that signed Common at Relativity, blah, blah, blah. We grab him out, we the manager, we bring it in. And the short version is the meeting just goes bad.
Because Kanye was Kanyeing?
Because he was in full mode, right? And I remember coming home, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I should manage you.
You should do your own thing.
Yeah, I'm going to help you, but I don't... this probably don't fit me.
And how did he take it?
That's the one time I saw him look like, wait a minute, I came to the meeting in a limo, I left in a taxi, what am I gonna do now? But that was fuel. If you know him, that was fuel.
And for you, it was just, you didn't want to frankly be in the position of being like, I brought a guy in and he's kind of acting crazy, and it's hard for me to sit next to him.
No, it's not that. I've been doing music 26 years because I just want everything to be all right. I'm a pass on things that's gonna drive me crazy or not fit my personality. Like I didn't think I'd live a comfortable life being in that role, and I felt like if I didn't have that passion to do that, somebody else will have that passion to do that. That'll hurt him. I just looked at it that way. I don't know. I just got a different outlook on all this. When you help somebody win, it don't matter what you get from them or what position you play. If you really help somebody, it's a win for you in some shape, form, or fashion, as we see and saw. You know, we just benefited each other. You know, it's times when he's told me like, man, I'm glad we didn't, you know, you never did anything wrong to me. So there was no business between us to tarnish relationships and strain them. And then it's just good, man. We just get live good lives, man.
Always, Dion. No, I always used to get confused. So you'd be like, hey, it's Dion. I'd be like, Dion who? What are you talking about? And, you know, you also have been this person in this business as long as I've known you that's just always done exactly what you were just talking about, right? Like, artists come to you to get their sound right, to find their sound. Like, you've become this almost like a guru in some regard of, like, you know, working with artists. Over the years, the resume's long, but more recently, you went in and became an executive at a label, which was new for you, right? When you started, was Def Jam the first time you decided to be an executive? How was that experience for you? Because that was something I think you had told me before that you was like, nah, I'm never going inside. And then the climate was right, you felt.
Nah, that wasn't it. To be honest, I sometimes as a creator, you create something, and then you look at who you're talking to, and you go like, why am I talking to you about what I'm doing? And I at some point I just got fed up, and like I was like, I can't talk to a lot of these people. I gotta just go in there and be a person people can talk to, or you know, put my
so once
music
again
through
it was about
system
it was about the
myself.
music. It was about the
I was
artist.
like, man, I gotta get past this firewall, man. My internet too slow right now. I ain't making the right speed, the bandwidth wrong. I gotta break down this firewall. Let me get in here.
And then you ended up working with obviously Ross, Big Sean, Logic, and helping all of them create the best music they could possibly create. And I mean, you brought Logic, you brought him a long way to where we are today with this Grammy nomination for that record.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, I'm always careful how I word it now, you know, because I like letting people get their credit. So he definitely grew. Like the minute first session I went in with him, I was like, oh, you're a producer. You don't need me to produce. I'm just gonna produce the fact that you produce and kind of show you what to do, because I knew he had all these thoughts in his mind. And I knew the one thing is the more I study what I do, it's not that I'm becoming a guru. I'm actually just learning what producing really is, because hip-hop and technology are confused what producing is.
Yeah, people think beat makers are producers.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's just getting deeper into what that really means, which is just like figuring out what a person is inside, how to score that, how to put them in the right situations, and make people go, oh, I like that for what it is. Uniquely, specifically, and that came over time, but that also came from honestly studying a lot of what Quincy Jones says. You know, because if you go and look back at that, you know, that catalog he did before Mike, and then what he did with Mike and after Mike, you know, there are no signs or conversations about him bringing beats to people or music ideas. You know, it's just a whole nother philosophy of what the value he brought to that music that just goes tens and 20s and 30 millions of records. It's deeper than
who made the drums.
Period.
Right.
Who even made the bass line. I mean, I studied it far, and I'm like, did he ever make a original piece of music and ever bring it to anybody? You know, not that he didn't make it,
or that he can't,
or that he can't. He absolutely in scenarios did it, but that wasn't what it was about.
Right.
That's not why we look at him up there. You know, it's something else. And so I just started to read his books, and you know, really I like studying people from afar more than the relationships get a little bright and like the sun too much in your eyes, and I just started learning, and I really recognized that, you know, he did a lot of that great work in his 40s. So when I hit my 40s, I was like, all right, what did you do? And I started to study it, and then I just started to do it and put it into action. And now you know, from Cannonball Dollar to now, I mean, my whole perspective is not anywhere near the same, you know, but my taste is still the same. But I would hope I got better.
Do you have a favorite album that you produced? It may not be the most popular. It may not be the most popular artist, but maybe sonically it was something that was...
You know why that's a trick question is because that I produced on or produced. See, that's a whole...
Well, yeah, because Cannonball Dollar was your album.
Well, no, Tone.
Tone was on a lot of it. You guys produced together.
Yeah, I did most of Resurrection, and there's other, you know, some other albums that I kind of... Because producing an album is a different thing, man. That's not... Like having 3-4 cuts on a great album is easy.
Like you did with 444. Or
yes, that's a difficult process because now
because 444 you did the entire thing.
Yes.
So wait, are you credited with producing every song?
Yes.
Or you're the album producer? It's one and the same in this case.
Yeah, Jay got some co-production for some samples he gave me, but you know, even deeper, that's like cheaper than what that was. It was just, you know, two people sitting down really exchanging visions, and you know, he not tapping pads, but he's sharing his thoughts, which if you go back, Michael Jackson got co-production on records.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, but overall, you know, when you learn a different role, and that's what I mean, like some of them other records that I liked that I was a part of, I played a different role.
Right.
You know, and you know, especially when you're working with like artist producers, like a Kanye or something. Like artist producer versus producer, it's just, at some point I just realized that's two different things, man. Because artist producers get to express anything they want to express. Producers have to have an artist agree with what they want to express.
Mm-hmm.
It's so it's harder to express everything. And I just was talking about this with my friend Hip Hop a couple of days ago. Like, oh yeah, that's why Dilla just put all them beats out. Because it wasn't enough artists buying beats for him to get all of that out. But we got to hear it, you know.
And he had these beats, so many of his beat CDs are beats that you don't even know what rapper could have handled that beat.
Period.
It's just an expression, period. Well, did you think when you made this, first of all, what came first? This beat or the raps? And did you know how iconic this was?
Oh. That beat came first. But he may have had a general idea of that concept that to be honest, him and Tone, why not? Twilight Tone. You know, that happens sometimes. That happened with 444. Like, I kind of knew somewhere back in there he had a concept of a song, and I just was musically nudging him, like poking him in the side.
Well, you got to tell us about Story of OJ, because that's the most important record on the album, I believe. Okay. I know people love 444, and from a personal standpoint, I love
it. I like Marcy Me. There's a few things I really listen to on 444.
I just mean socially and culturally. Like, you know, Story of OJ taps into something right now that was so important, I thought.
Yeah.
So real quick, 444, Jay-Z, and you sit down. He calls you and says, "I want to do this album. I have an idea." How did it happen?
No. Yeah, I could. This is the real thing. He hit me a few years ago and said, I got an idea for an album. I go see him, he tells me the concept. And it's like, I heard the concept and I was like, I know where he's going. He may not have said it fully. And I don't think at that time I had like, I'm still in that, I'm studying Quincy Jones, I'm about to get better place. Not in the, oh, I got a stack of beats over here, yeah, let's do this. Let's get to the money, let's whatever. So it was a couple years, I just kept telling him, nah, I don't have nothing. And he's like, what you mean you don't have nothing? I'm like, I don't have anything. He's like, what you working on? I'm like, getting better. That's what I'm working on. It was a running joke. So there was some, you know, false starts in there. But really what happened is he hit me and was like, yo, I need you to help me with this Vic Mensa project. And by then I kind of found a groove, and I was like, yo, but I got something now. I got something now. He's like, after 2 years, you're like, yeah, for sure.
Whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Cool
And
story,
I'm
bro.
like, nah, for real. And he like, yeah, okay, I'll meet you over, And the way I had it right, when I sat with him, and I just probably ran off 50. And then he was
When you
just
say you
like,
ran off 58 beat ideas, song ideas.
Because the way I make music now, I just kind of create a sketch on the spot quick. And, the speed of it is actually an important way that I do, because, people get bogged down with ideas. It's just a slow process. And every idea could be a little off. The speed could be wrong. The drums could have been wrong. But if it take you 2 days to come back, people don't, it's too much thumbing to do in life to be thinking about coming back to a beat, People just thumb. So I incorporated that, and I try and overload people and catch them in the place. So he was like, man, that was too much. Don't move. I'm ready. And then I just got aggressive on him, and I just started hitting him with 5 every morning. Like, you ain't, man. I'm working. You don't work no more, man. You're rich. You comfortable, man. I'm still going, man.
You a dad now. You don't want these beats.
Hov,
you don't want these beats. You not rap. I thought you could rap, Hov.
And then I made the kill Jay-Z beat.
Yeah.
And then he goes like, hold on, I'm calling Guru, come by the house. And then I go, oh, okay. So it really was never like he sat down and said we're doing an album.
Mm-hmm.
We never even said we're doing an album, ever. That was never even a concept. People were sending beats, everything. But again, I think I was working at a high rate. I made a lot of pieces of music.
And you understood where you thought he wanted to go.
Yes.
Because you had that preliminary combo.
Yes.
Right.
So then I had the cheat code of just sitting there and talking every day. So now back to getting what you're talking about, which is OJ. That was us just sitting around having conversations. And the unique thing about working with him to me is that I just said, oh, you know what? If it didn't happen, he's not going to say it. He's not going to, like, come up with today's agenda, the suitcase was in the center. He's like, if that didn't happen, he's just not going to say it. So you can't even really, like,
he wants a real story.
Yes.
He wants real factual things.
Now that boxes it all in. Now you got to be like, so what happened? Like, tell me some stuff. What's going on? How you thinking? What you feeling? And then you got to, like, talk it out. But he's so smart. All the conversations, he's, like, already got the information. So then at that point, I was like, oh, okay. It just takes, man, bring Emery around. Let's talk about the old days. Oh, man, so-and-so. Oh, yeah. What you Guru talk? And then all those songs just start happening. So I remember the day we were just talking, and he had given me the 4-woman sample because I was doing this technique with the beats, and he was like, man, but you should do it with these. I was like, man, just make a playlist, man. Just make a playlist. So he's like, cool.
Of stuff he's feeling that he's been vibing
he's like,
to.
this is what I play in the house. I'm like, give me that. Thus comes the co-production. I'm like, okay, this is the score of your house. All right. This should be easy. You love this music. You play it all the time. It's just like when the parents play the music and then you go like, okay, I like it. All right, cool. So, and it's true, like, a few times I go to his house, he's playing this playlist still. I'm like, hey, man, make a new one. Nah, I like this one. But that's when and then I kind of knew how to shift. I figured out a way to, like, chop words up in samples and kind of make it say what I want to make it say.
Right, because the Nina Simone record that you used for Story of OJ, definitely is on topic with the every sample. If I mostly are on topic with the songs that it feels like are on 444. Am I saying that right?
I mean, in general.
Yeah.
When I think about it. I want to say yes.
Family Feud is the Clark sisters, right?
Yeah.
Which is a family of girl singers.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I see. And like that was the first thing I thought when I was like, okay, this Nina Simone record is about different women, right, with different complexions and dealing with different things. So there's a race culture convo in the original sample, right? You know, I mean, so I don't know. I thought that was a part of the idea. Maybe it wasn't.
To be honest, it moved so fast. It wasn't as contrived as we discuss it now. It was more like, yo, hook this up, and me being like always in a joust type mood. I'm like 5 minutes later, I'm like, yo, all right, I got it. He like, come on, man, you ain't got it. And I'm like, yo, and right here it say my skin is black, my skin is yellow. You know how and then before I know it, he got the lines to the chorus. Like I can't even get because that's how good he is.
Yeah,
it's really kind of all you got to do is just like kind of toss the ball in the air, and he just goes and do something. So
were you surprised at the level of accolades, and like, did you think Story of OJ would get nominated for a Grammy?
I don't think like that. So I never had those direct thoughts. He had like that was the second song we did, and he was like, all right, we going somewhere now. That's the pillar.
Oh wow! So even the record, like for the first song y'all did was beat he liked that caught his attention was Kill Jay-Z.
Yes,
that's the first record on the album.
Yes,
Story of OJ is the second record, and that's the second record.
And the
y'all
third
did.
was Legacy,
and that's one of the last ones. Though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he immediately was like, 1, 2, 10. All right, now let's
fill it in.
Yeah, it might have been 1, 2, 7 because he wanted to do 7 songs at first. He's like, all we need is 4 more or whatever. And I'm thinking,
hit you with that God number though.
Yeah.
He God body.
Yeah. And then things just start happening.
Right.
So 444 wasn't until like the middle of the project. That was never that wasn't a thing. Like if you really go look at the DNA of that record, it's not. It's deep. It's a deeper expression than that relationship.
Oh, for sure.
Matter of fact, we were trying to box it into that being the only song that kind of touches the relationship.
But it spilled.
Yeah.
No. What happened is when it got to the end, he was like, "It got to be some resolution to this. It just can't end with I'm never."
But did it surprise you like how personal it was?
Absolutely. It was no, and that's where
you were sitting there. He was recording. You was like, "Yo, he's going."
No. He didn't record it.
Did you drop one? Did one thug tear just hold on your finger?
No. I will tell a couple. I try not to tell all the stuff because I like for him to be able to say. That's why I don't do a lot of interviews.
Yeah, because I've been trying to get No Idea up here for a long time, but obviously Hov hadn't talked. It's his project. He hadn't done interviews. He doesn't do a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
So No ID wasn't coming up here until
every story, right?
Yeah. So when I knew he had a thought of one of those type of records, I went and did the beat, and it's a real story. I put the beat on, and I just looked at him, and I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "What you mean, what's up?" I was like, "What's up? What you gonna do?" He's like, "All right, I'm going home," and he goes home, and then he texts me at 4:44 in the morning, like, "I got it." Now, real story, we didn't pay attention to that time at all. That was an after fact. Not to mention, the song is 4 minutes and 44 seconds. We didn't pay attention to that. This is how the album got named. And then Guru goes over there super early. So I'm just sitting in my studio, and then Guru just comes in, and it's all like, we do all this stuff theatrical on purpose. It's just fun. And he just comes in and looks at me like, and just push play and just looks at me, and I'm like, oh, am I?
Yeah, you curse. Whatever. It's fine.
Nah, I ain't gonna curse. I ain't gonna curse. And I just paused for, I don't know, minutes, because I didn't expect it as much as I push, I expect there to be a line that I thought I couldn't push him. And so when it came back exactly the way I would have envisioned it to be, I was kind of in shock, and to be honest, I just kind of left the studio, called my wife, went for a walk down the street, gave her a hug,
So this is something. We got something here.
I just said, hey, I appreciate you.
I appreciate
Wow.
Oh, it hit you on that level.
Yeah. Not that I did anything, but just, hey, you know what? It's some blessings in here, and I'm gonna take time right now and just walk away from this for a minute, because that was real.
As everybody debates what is going to get rap album of the year, before we even get to album of the year, right, and what that's going to be, one of the conversations I think we had the other day on the air about 444, because we all love Damn. Kendrick put together a phenomenal album.
Absolutely.
A lot of people think he's going to walk away with best rap album, right? And whether or not you like Migos or understand their music or like them or whatever, sonically they are unlike anything else in popular music and rap. You know what I mean? They created their own sound, and I think that needs to be in some way saluted, right?
Absolutely.
Tyler also, right? Like we should be celebrating that each and every album. We are living in a time of hip hop where each and every album in the rap category is sonically very different.
Yes.
And that should be celebrated. I think we should celebrate as a culture. But we're also living in a time where we literally have a living legend in a successful relationship with 3 beautiful children.
Absolutely.
An entrepreneur in business. He owns his own streaming platform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, no,
and
yes.
like
after those months, I was like, I gotta step up my life game.
That too. Don't we all?
Yeah, like, cause to add on to that, it was a moment in the album where he was like, man, you like a good person, man. Now, we done known each other forever, way too long. Like the first time I came around was Volume 1. And he was like, but I didn't know you was nice, because, you just kind of walk in the room, halfway
Very
say
quiet.
what's up.
Right.
And I was like, but that's my Chicago nature. Like, we don't intrude in people's space. We got to be cool, sure we cool with people before we engage. It's like a bad street culture thing we got. Like, we just not, it's like, what's up? Until you invite me in. Then it's like, oh, what's up? All right, cool. So he's like, man, and I'm like, you are too, man. He's like, nah, I didn't know, man. And, then I just got to see a human being that I was like, oh, man, you like a good guy. And so that was like multiplying. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, you like own your music. While we all talking about this battle for the indies, you like been indie the whole time. You own your music. You own the streaming platform. You own the sports agency. You own the label. You manage. You got the. What am I doing? What? Hold on. Something ain't. I got work to do. So on that level, man, because I think the competitive nature of hip hop won't allow us to really acknowledge all that stuff yet on a wide basis. On a wide basis, it's like you gotta stop them and slow them down.
But this is why I think 444 either deserves album of the year or rap album of the year, because we are watching a 40. How old is Hov now? 48. A 48-year-old black man in a successful relationship telling the most in-depth story of his life in hip-hop. We have never seen this before. And I hope we see it again, but this has set a new mark for the culture.
It has. Now, I'll tell you my opinion, and this is just my opinion, because I'm so hip-hop in my core that I just don't even think about that. I don't think what that wins at the Grammys defines what it is. We already did it. It's there.
Right.
It won't ever.
The trophy doesn't. The mark is set. The Grammy doesn't make it matter.
Yes,
more.
It doesn't.
That's facts too.
You know what I mean? And it'll be there forever.
The only thing that really matters at the Grammys this year is with the number of rap albums nominated for Album of the Year. I think it would be cool for one of the rap albums to win in that category. But I don't think for Hove and you, this really is that necessary a win.
Yeah, I know. Listen,
I just want it to be documented. I guess I just want it to be documented.
Yeah,
like
that's
I want
what I'm
all
saying.
of that to be documented. That we have hit a new mark. We have.
But
hit
that's
a
already
new
documented.
high.
It's documented.
You feel like it?
Documented.
Now-
The success of it to me
Yeah.
it's it. Like now Hove is officially capable of doing what people like Bruce Springsteen do and drop Stevie Wonder. You drop classics throughout your life.
And not only that, what I'm saying is, listen, I'm excited to be nominated. As much as people, and I've worked on projects that didn't get nominated that I thought were, 808s and Heartbreaks didn't get a lot of nominations, if any. It might have got one,
I didn't even know you worked on 808s.
Yeah.
You did
That
Love
was
Lockdown, right?
808s and Heartbreaks single-handedly changed the way
This
these
is what I'm
rappers
talking
make
about.
music right now.
Yeah, but,
Right.
I mean, I did multiple records on there.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. Like, we didn't get, that took time. Out the gate, it was like, by the way, you played I Used to Love Her. That took time. That came out. It wasn't like numbers.
Instant classic
Yeah,
and
it was
numbers
like,
and all that, yeah.
I didn't even, it was later. Somebody was like, yo, man, that was classic. I'm like, what? Okay.
And
I'm
it
with
is. And time showed it was a classic.
So, because I've been through that, I'm like, man, this is like year one for this one.
That's a great way of looking at it. Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna even. It's going into the psyche of humanity right now.
Mm-hmm.
The fruit of that don't even show up. That's the win for the record, is that it's gonna go along. It's not even on Spotify. What about when they figure that out and put it on Spotify? It's a long tail now. This is streaming world. It means it's deep. It's layers. You could keep going and going and going. And I kept referencing like what's going on when we was working, and I kept saying, because if we were getting at the end, he'll be like, man, all right, let's go for it. I'll be like, nah, man, let's not put sexual healing on what's going on. I know radio, I know the club, but let's just do this one. Then you already got the catalog. You won. You won 5 times, like 10 times, whatever. I don't know. But this one, this is gonna.
So that was an actual conversation though about like, should we drop a single on this? There's just one to like hit the people with, and you were like, we don't need that here.
Yeah, I was like, look at certain albums that are standouts in people's catalogs. They're not really the ones. And matter of fact, I kept saying, an album to me is measured by the worst song, not the best song. Like the bad songs make an album not classic. You can have the most amazing records on a record, and you got 2 bad records, and you're like, nah, it ain't classic though, because of and then
That's
it's
true.
like,
That is a combo.
man.
So-
all right, cool.
Yeah, like there's ones that you're like, I like it, but not as much as the other ones, and then there's ones where it's like, skip.
Yes.
I never want that one to play,
Yes,
and that
yes,
hurts.
Yes, So it was a different perspective. I was like, man, you got big records. That don't impress nobody no more. That don't even mean nothing. It's just another one for you. But to take this stance means something. So back to the Grammy thing. The other part, I think we toy with this concept of who the Grammy committee is and whether they should really be choosing,
The 14,000 members and this. That.
Yeah, but in my mind, those are our peers.
Yeah.
They're
engineers, musicians.
So when we win, lose, or draw, that's what the people said. I just make music trying to reach people. So when it reaches people, it's good. And if it don't reach you immediately, that's cool. I know what I'm intending. I know what he's intending. And sometimes you can win more when you just don't, it's so many statistics that we put into this win. And I'm like, that's not where I'm from. Again, we start off with where I'm from. I'm from playing house music in a club with just 2,000 people, and if I play the wrong record, they get off the floor. So,
And by the way, it's not like even with Logic had his audience just crushing it. Meanwhile, I talked to people at Def Jam and I went to a show. It was the first show that Def Jam was at, and they were looking at the crowd and they were like, "Oh my God, I didn't even know we had this." So it's not like when you were messing with Logic, it's not like the industry knew yet how ill he was.
No, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, that's what did it for me. One of my young guys named Noah Preston that I grabbed him as a scout and raised him up,
Is that Noah that works engineers with?
No, he's an A&R at Def Jam.
Got it.
But he was like a young kid, and I'm like, nah, he smart. I'm going to show him. Because I like reproducing and bringing new people in. And so he brought Logic to me, and at first I was like, yeah, it's cool. He's like, nah, you should really look at this again. And I was like, nah, it's good. I get it. But, in my mind, I'm thinking, is he M? Is he, just the surface thoughts you think out the gate. And then I go, I'm going to go to the show. I'm going to see. And when I saw the show, I was like, do the deal right now. And then after I saw the show and met him, I was like, don't ever talk about a single. Just put records out. Let the man do what he do. He'll find a single at some point in his life. He'll make a hit. He don't need it. All he needs to do is just keep doing what he's going to do. That's it. He got the core fan base. He's going to grow. He's going to figure it out. He's going to mature. He's smart. But more importantly, going back to me knowing how to produce now, is like I know how to score people's lives now. So I'm looking at who he is, and I'm like, nah, don't mess that up. That is what it's supposed to be, and enhance it, make it better. Single talk is pressure. Like, I go back and listen to certain classic albums and I hear the singles.
I know.
And I'm like,
I know.
Boo.
Man, I
Throw
know
away.
I know why you did that.
Right.
I don't want to say some songs, but we crack jokes and like it's certain albums. I'm like, but that one, why?
What we should do
But
a
I
whole
think that's
podcast
why-
about that.
I think that's
Shit.
why you went inside the label, is what you're saying. That,
Yes.
though,
Yes.
the
I
ability
wanted
to have that
tell
combo.
people like, get out the way. I mean, this goes across from a rap. I was the person that was like, I don't care that Alessia Cara don't got no manager at the time or no demo. She's good. Oh, that Here record, that's the one. Put that out on SoundCloud. Watch it. Stop worrying about it. Oh, it ain't the tempo. It ain't the not. Who cares? Do it. Connect.
It
Does
ain't the
connect?
tempo. What label talk? That's such
Yeah,
label
that's right.
talk.
You
Because
know.
they're thinking, how's it going to get played
Right.
at mix show, and the DJ won't play it.
It don't matter.
and
Somebody's
this
gonna
and
play
that.
it in their house. That's it. Somebody gonna like. I know where people gonna play J album at, on the plane and on that long car ride when they really want to think about life.
I'm sure you're on social media a little bit. I don't know how much you pay attention,
I'm
but
just getting on that a little bit now.
a little bit. But I'm sure you've seen the headlines of whether it was 50 Cent when he was up here saying, kids don't listen to the Jay-Z album or to this or to that. How does, you just said, I know where people going to listen to Jay-Z's album at,
Yeah.
right? What's your rebuttal to that, or how do you even process that if you see something like that?
I mean, that is just perspective. When he explained his perspective, I got his perspective. But it's art. When you create art, it's different purposes. Every artist. I got a real. I should trademark it. I got a real saying that when I go work with people, I go, all right, we artists. Do you want to paint a Picasso or a stop sign? Let's determine this in the gate. And I'm going to define it. Picasso is a painting that people may not know for years how valuable it is. It's limited amounts of them. They not only special people really embrace it and have it. And stop signs are on every corner of the world.
Very important.
And we know what they look like.
Everyone sees them.
We know the color.
Instant
We know the
recognition,
font. Even in another country, we see it and go, stop. I need to stop here. So that's the hit, and that's the art. So I'm not really into stop signs. if you want to make stop signs, you should just go look at stop signs and make them, and I'll cheer you on. But I'm in the Picassos. I'm in the art. That's the only thing that ever worked for me in my career. So I know what I do, and I know how to look at people, know what they do, and then just kind of help people get to what they want to get to. So I don't. Why did I say that? What was the thing that made?
Well,
talking about
that's why
singles.
you got into labels and you were like, don't worry about
so
hits.
I'm the guy that's like, where's the artist? You know, all that's cool. All the research, all the numbers, that's cool. And you know what? Everybody goes, yeah, I got this many that and that many this, and like, cool if that's
what you doing it for.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not when the book is closed on me. I just want the pages to look like I feel. Like, oh, okay. Oh, I get it. I get it. But nobody even know. And I went and did the stop signs, by the way. That's why I know. I went to Atlanta and worked with Jermaine and did the Bow Wow and all kind of records. I was like, okay, that's what that is. I get it. But I went down there and learned how to not think about it from a Picasso perspective, which helped me be involved with records like Heartless and stuff like that I call like two-handed record, like it's a Picasso stop sign.
Yeah.
You know.
You brought the worlds together.
Yeah. And so I know how to do that, which by the way I think Kanye is great at.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's one of his gifts is that he loves merging them. But, you know, I love pure Picasso sometimes. Like I don't even want I want it to be distinctly against the grain sometimes. You know, a lot of times I want to go like, yeah, no radio. Yeah, no club. Now, but you like it though, right? Mm-hmm. But it's different, right? It make you. And I used to tell Jay before we did this album, he'd hear certain beats and he'd be like, man, why you didn't give me that? And I'd be like, I'm trying to irritate you. I want to make you feel like, why are you giving this to somebody else when you know what I would do? Which was all, you know, me, I don't know, trolling to get to this.
To get to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was trolling before I was on the internet.
He is an original troll. One of the most irritating.
Oh, God.
You see how he talks? You see how slow, like he takes his time with you? It irritates the piss out of you.
One more thing before we let you go.
Okay.
I think it was a couple months, Ebro, that we interviewed Sister Nancy before we heard
Yes.
the 444 album and the tracks, right? We interviewed her and we have the interview on hot97.com.
And she had never gotten paid.
Just
for,
an incredible story how she recorded that record when she was 16 and didn't see money from it till like years later.
Just like recently, right?
Yes.
Like the last few years, she started getting paid off Bomb from Sister Nancy.
No, absolutely.
So how did that come together? And did you guys, was Sister Nancy in studio with you guys at any point? Or how did that come about?
That was just the part of the thing that I got from the Quincy thing was just like, he used to say, it's 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration. And I started looking at all the, because you said something about kids, so I'm gonna tie this up. Like, you know, when we talk about the kids, I want to know what age are the kids?
When people bring them up.
No, yeah, when we talking about the kids, what the kid like.
We're talking about what the kids like. And
So which age is the kid?
I think that's like a 16 to 22 or something, 24, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
but
guessing, by the way, I'm
it
guessing.
ain't a lot of these people we talking about. They older than that. When we start,
Oh, the people having the conversation.
the people having the conversation, the
Oh, they're mad
artists,
older.
artists that we talking
the
about,
artists, yeah.
the
They're trying to
producers that
stay
we-
young. They're fighting to stay young.
All right,
Be clear.
So I got this thing where I want to help us examine that in the sense of, hip hop is one of the only things where we say youth is the truth, the only thing that matters.
Listen to the kids, bro. Kanye.
Yeah, like
Listen to the kids, bro.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, in no other form of life do adults gotta go see what my kids said
So
before I
fast.
make a decision on this purchase or what I'm gonna wear today. What do the kids say? You know, and so it's kind of and let me clarify what I'm saying is kind of pimpish. The whole thing is like a pimpish thing. Like, man, let's figure out what these kids think and
because they're like
and make some money off of them.
their minds aren't
Yeah.
able to make their own
Yeah, so
decisions.
whatever they
let's-
saying, let's just feed them that, and we'll get some numbers.
Oh, so they popping pills and Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
So-
Let's pump more of this bullshit
Yeah.
into their life.
Yeah.
Like sweets and fast food.
Listen to the kids, bro.
You know?
That was pretty good.
Easy.
So, you know, when people were like, man, that whole album is adult, and I was like, so smart is adult, or introspective is adult, or, you know, because I grew up in the era when I was a kid, people was wearing Africas and knowledge of self and all kind of things, so I never was like, yo, that's adult. Tupac, you're adult. No, he wasn't. He never got to 25.
Right.
But it was just good. Like that stuff they was saying, Biggie, Nas, Pac, them was young guys.
Yeah,
Man.
nobody said Brenda's Got a Baby was too adult.
Yes,
How
nobody
old
was
was
like,
Nas
yo,
when he did
man.
Illmatic?
And yeah, Nas was what, 18? Did
Yeah.
Illmatic.
17, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
so
a kid.
I don't, you know, that portion. And then I want to make sure I tied it back because your question was
Oh, I was talking about Sister Nancy.
so Sister Nancy. So I just looked at the young producers and I was like, man, they just outworking me. It's not really like they work at a really fast pace. And I was like, Quincy said 90% perspiration. So I was like, let me get on my beat treadmill. And I was like, I'm gonna make 100 beats. And then and then it was 200. Then it was like in 4 months it was 500. And that Sister Nancy idea was just one in the batch. And when it come down to, I felt like, oh, that's like a Picasso with some stop sign elements. So the whole time I was like, we got to do that one though. We got to do that one. And the connection with her came when we had the concept to go press the 45s in Jamaica.
I still don't have one, by the way, Tia.
No?
It's been a hard, hurtful.
I hear everybody said he had one for
No,
you.
they all say Guru says he has. He just hasn't gotten to the box that they're in. I'll die
It
if
took
I
me
don't-
a minute to get mine.
All right, so I'm gonna die if I don't get one. But continue. We'll get
He's that 45 collector with
Yeah,
a
that's like I'm
jukebox
a-
with 45.
I have a jukebox.
in it.
Well,
Well,
so I got-
I'm there now too. I don't know how I just jumped in the game this quick.
You're in the
now.
game
I'm
now?
in the game now.
Oh, so we gotta
I'm in
talk.
the game.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah, 100%.
talk.
But
We'll
I play house music on the 45.
Oh, word.
Yes. Say I got my own angle.
Is that and that's by the way, that's its own collection situation too.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
house
And I got
stuff.
the jukebox is on the way.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay. We'll
No,
say that.
I'm in it.
When you go in, you go in.
I'm going in. I stayed out
See,
because
they
I
just
wasn't
left. They
in.
left us, Lord Styles. They
That's it,
left.
yes.
Okay.
They left us.
But so I didn't go because I'm a family man, and they said it was Zika in Jamaica, so I didn't go. But they flew down, and Sister Nancy was there, and I just got the story of everything that she said, everything she went through, and Guru being Guru in true Guru fashion, puts in the booth, records it, like, yo, man, I got Nancy, man, you know.
So dope.
So some of that was like, just because it's Sister Nancy.
Yeah.
Like, you can't pass that up. I mean, in Jamaica, at Bob's studio, you know, nah, it was too good. I hate that I missed it. But you know, it's just this same old story again. Like, the business is so crooked. You know, that's why I wanted to be an executive. That's like, man, we make this art. This is our natural resource. We don't have land. There's no oil in the land. There's no, you know, we got this art. And to allow it to just be continuously misused, exploited, misdirected, I can't.
Not compensated
Yeah,
for
man,
it.
I can't. I'll take the bullet sitting in the label and why you working with the label, man? Because, man, somebody gonna need me. Somebody special is gone. I learned my lesson early, and it's a blessing. My mother introduced me to this kid. He told me when we were in that Columbia meeting, he told Donnie, I'm gonna be the next Michael Jackson. I giggled in my head, and one day I saw him on the Grammys with a jacket doing Stronger, a specific jacket, and Michael Jackson called him and said, "Where'd you get that jacket?" And I was like,
Kanye West.
so anything can happen. Anything can happen. I don't know who I'm meeting every single day. I don't know what's going on, but I know I'm going to help some people, and I'm going to keep adding some pages to this book. And today I'm out here because it's 5 nominations, and, I'm happy, and it could be 0 wins, 5 wins. It don't matter. I'm not dancing.
It's all a win.
I'm not dancing in the end zone till the career's over. I'm just going to score and put the ball down and go back, run another play.
Well, his name's No ID. If you're watching this and you didn't do your research on who he is and why he's important and, why we having him up here today, hopefully this gave you some insight. I just thought it would be, your discography and what you've represented in hip-hop and maintaining culture and kind of being that glue and, the people clearly that you've helped. I thought that was an important thing to share, especially with Grammys being back in New York City, which is the birthplace of hip-hop, and it's the 60th anniversary, and the number of hip-hop albums that are nominated for Album of the Year. I kind of feel like the stars have aligned in a way.
Thank you, man. Thank you for making time for us, too.
Thank you.
Yo, give it up. No ID,
No ID.
man.